Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are gonna be talking about Serbian protests. Oh my god, what is happening in Serbia? There are huge protests and is there gonna be a civil war? Is Europe gonna be fine? Is Serbia going to war? Are they gonna kill the Serbian president? I hear these stupid questions all over the place from people that are not from Serbia. But guess what? I know what is happening in Serbia. Because I've been watching President Vučić for a very long time now. And I know exactly how he operates. I'm gonna tell you because I even saw Joe Rogan be like, "What is happening in Serbia, dude? Like, what do you mean? Why do you care? It's a small country in the middle of nowhere. Who gives a shit what is happening in Serbia?" But it's apparently so big that everybody's got worried. Well, let me tell you something. There is nothing to worry about. Because all of these protests are staged. Imagine that. How did you not know about this? Well, you didn't know about this because you didn't watch the Serbian president. He's manipulating. He's a goddamn devil himself. So here we have Serbians march in 4 cities against government. We had in Serbia a railway station of some sort collapse and killed 16 people, wounded, I don't know how many, injured, not wounded. Why am I saying it's not a war? It's just a construction collapsing. And people have been protesting this for about 4 months now. Just on the streets. So why am I saying that this is staged? Well, I'm about to show you why. And you can judge this for yourselves. First of all, if we look at how real protests work, in Serbia especially, and if we look how these ones work, you can see a clear difference. For no reason, apparently. So first of all, I personally know this shouldn't really be a huge information, or reliable information, but I'm gonna tell you this anyway. I know people from both sides. I know the people that are anti-government and protesting here, the students, and I know the other people also that are going to support the president of Serbia on their rallies. And I can tell you this, they're both either blackmailed to not lose their jobs, they have to go there, or as students that are broke, they're paid to be there. So, you can see that this is like a few 100,000 students being on the street, and you're gonna be like, well, who's gonna pay all of these people? Well, listen, the first few protests were paid off as they kept going day after day after day. That snowballed into a bigger protest. And that is just the theory of monkey sees, monkey does. Ooh, everybody's doing it. I should do it too. And now we have actual angry people on the streets protesting something they don't even know what. They don't know why they're there. And they're just looking for a reason to get on the streets and protest. Like a few days ago, they were on the streets in a protest about the Day of the Students. Now they remember that day apparently exists. And for the first time in history, they're out on the street and, waving their flags and, yeah, we're students. And it's not that they're on the streets and doing this, they're blockading regular people. So if you protest against the government, go around government buildings. You don't see the anti-abortion protests in front of a McDonald's. They're in front of a clinic where nonsense is happening that you don't like. That's where you wave your stupid flags. Don't blockade fucking roads. Just freeze the whole city because, 16 people died. So I have to pay for it now by standing here for hours waiting for you to move your dumbass from the street. This is not how you do it. But this is government supported. Why is it government supported? Well, let's see how actual protests work in Serbia. So there was a year or two ago, I forgot correctly, there was a huge, massive protest against the company called Rio Tinto. They were supposed to come to Serbia and, drill around, excavate, and get some lithium going. Because we discovered lithium apparently, and lithium is pretty much a modern age oil. So if you have this, you're gonna be rich, everybody's gonna be happy, and that's all great. But there is a problem with this company that wherever they go, in whichever country they go to excavate, they destroy everything in their path, especially nature, because there are a lot of chemicals being involved. The chemicals are being dumped, usually in the rivers. In Serbia, we have clean, nice rivers, and people don't want this to be destroyed and just annihilated just so we can sell some lithium. So Serbians protested this very widely, and the president didn't like this because he wanted to make money off lithium. So what he did, so these are protests against him, against his wishes. So he did what he does when protests are actually real. So first of all, he started by getting the police to beat the crap out of protesters. And I'm gonna show you a video here. I'm gonna find a few. It's not that hard to find. They were beating the crap out of them. And it's not like, oh, they were just defending themselves. Cops are not defending themselves here. I'm gonna find a video. I hope I'm gonna find a video. But if I don't find it, there are literally protesters that are just sitting on a bench drinking soda, beer. I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. And the cops just run up to them and beat the crap out of them. Like, that is defending yourself. Come on. After that, protesters got pissed off. And they were like, oh, the cops are beating us. They're not supposed to be beating us. We are protesting this now. So the President Vučić said, well, I am ordering cops not to beat protesters anymore and not to get involved, just to stand there for whatever reason. And he did that. But then we had this thing happen. We had a huge tractor-like thing just driving through people, trying to flatten them. And there were a bunch of hooligans, masked hooligans, that were obviously paid by the government, with hammers and some plywood and, whatever they could find, crowbars, just attacking the protesters, beating the shit out of them. And cops are like 2 meters away, following their orders by not getting involved, just standing back. And the president was like, well, I told cops not to beat anyone. Literally anyone. This is just you, fighting each other. I have nothing to do with that. This is how Serbian president deals with protests. Now you can look at these protests. Cops are not beating them. Cops are escorting them, protecting them. So nobody else, touches them. So, they're safe to do whatever they want to do. And what they want to do is paralyze the whole cities and just annoy the crap out of the people. We also had them march from one city, from Belgrade to Novi Sad or Niš, all over the place. And when they marched literally on foot, walking from one city to another, I mean, who does that for free? Because 16 people died in an accident. Come on with that. They were all paid off. This is so blatantly obvious. But yeah, they were walking from one city to another, and when they were pretty sure halfway through, or when they ended up getting finally there, guess who organized where they're gonna sleep? We're gonna stay the night so tomorrow they can continue doing whatever. President Vučić organized for them to have a place to sleep. And then we have him here playing ping pong with them. And then we have him, when they were marching, police was escorting them so nobody intercepts them and beats them up. These are fake protests. Now, why are these protests even there? Why would anyone want to create these protests? Well, because of the previous story of the company called Rio Tinto. What is happening with that company? Well, even though Serbian president said that they were, since people, said it out loud, we don't want them here, president said, okay, we're not gonna have them here, we're gonna find some new partners and figure something out. They're still here. They never left because they bought a bunch of land where they're supposed to be digging, and they bought even from people, like their houses are there in the region. They bought off all of that. They're flattening that, and they're preparing to create their own mine. They're gonna be mining lithium again. So president kind of needs these protests to just, get people annoyed and, scream about this nonsense so he can just, from the side deal with Rio Tinto and get his lithium excavation going. And it's not just that. Like, there is a lot of things with Kosovo. Serbia has a lot of problems. There is a lot of problems with the West. There is problems everywhere. And all of these problems are basically created by the Serbian government. Except for Kosovo. We can't really blame that on Serbia. That is just the Western nonsense. But the way they're dealing with Kosovo is kind of stupid from my perspective. So he's doing a lot of wrong things that people wouldn't want. So this is his way of dealing with this. We also had the Serbian opposition to the Vučić government just being extremely dumb, because he's using these protests to also push them a little bit to do something stupid. Like this one. I'm gonna show you the video of that too, where the Serbian opposition, the opposition that is fighting against President Vučić, came into this place we call Skupština. They came in there and with, flares and, I don't know, some weird grenades and shit. I don't know what it is. Like flashbangs. They threw a bunch of shit in there. And they act like hooligans. And there is one guy in, that's leading all of this. He's basically a tycoon. This guy has a lot of money and he's basically Elon Musk of Serbia. But a little bit more criminal. So this guy is trying to run his Gilas, called Gilas. And he's trying to take over to get Vučić out, and he sees these protests, and he's stupid enough to not realize that this is all stage, and he thinks now it's my time to strike. But now you are very stupid. Because he messed up here. He pushed forward. He paid his own protesters to join these protesters to create more problems. Like, it's easy. You have all of these protesters just walking down the street and they're like peaceful and whatever, and you pay about 50 people and you make them start breaking windows, burning cars or whatever. And a lot of these people will join you in that, and you're gonna create real problems. Well, Serbian president has been keeping an eye on this because it has been one piece of the whole plan, of the whole idea. So now these people are gonna get prosecuted and most likely either arrested or banned from running for next elections. So he's also getting rid of his oppositions just because he staged these protests. Are you that... I mean, people don't know. I can't call them stupid at this point. I understand that people from around the world don't know the sneakiness and weaselness of Vučić, but this is what he does. Just like with Ukraine. He said we are not selling any weapons to Ukraine. But Russia, on the other hand, knows that Serbia is selling weapons to Ukraine, and they did sell them ammunition, not directly. It's not like Serbian government is like, we sold them. No, we didn't sell them, but one of our companies that is strangely in ownership of some president's relatives is selling them, and it is a private company. We got nothing to do with that. We just sell them rockets that, they're not rockets, combat rockets. They're the ones, that hit the clouds and make the clouds disperse so there's not going to be too much rain or whatever. That type of rockets. And when you take that type of rocket and you put an actual tip, explosive tip, you create a military rocket that kills Russian people. So your apparently friends that you keep saying, this is what Serbia does. This is what Vučić does. Now these people are obviously protesting for completely different reasons, and this is not what they're supposed to be protesting about. They need to get this man out of here because he's literally toying with people, doing whatever he wants. So yeah, what is happening in Serbia? This is happening in Serbia. Now you know. Now you can calm down. Nothing's gonna happen in Serbia. This is all nonsense. It is all staged. Maybe in the future, when people finally realize what actually happened, they will do something about it, and then some problems might arise. But right now, these protests, even though they are huge, it's just nonsense. Just don't even give it any attention unless you want to dig a little bit deeper into it and see what is actually, going on. But anyways, hope you like this. Hope you got your information going and you can now sleep tight. Make sure you subscribe. I'll keep letting you know what they're cooking while you're not looking. And I'll see you on the next one.